Every time you see a login page, an email box, or a simple click here button, there might be someone on the other side trying to turn that moment into a cyber attack. Not through brute force, not through advanced systems, but through human behavior. And that's the reality of modern cybercrime. So, in this session, we are going to break down how hackers actually think, not from movies or myths, but from real world attack patterns, psychology, and techniques used today. You will see how small mistakes turn into big breaches and how security professionals think differently to stop them. But before we begin, a quick insight for you. If you are serious about building a career in cybersecurity, then Simplilearn offers the AI-powered Advanced Executive Program in Cybersecurity in collaboration with IIT Bangalore. It is a live hands-on program covering ethical hacking, AI-driven defense, real-world case studies, 30+ tools, CEH V13 training, Microsoft certifications, and structured career support. Now here is the agenda of our today's session. First, we are going to cover what is the hacker's mindset. Then we are going to explore the hacker's motivation, what are the attack techniques, tools and AI in cybercrime, and then we are going to discuss a bit about ethical hacking. Now before we move ahead, here is a short quiz to test your knowledge. What is the most common entry point for cyber attacks today? And your options are software bugs only, human mistakes and phishing, firewalls failing, or encryption errors. Please mention your answers in the comment section below. So let's get started. Let us start with first understanding what motivates a hacker. Hackers do not all think in the same way. Their reasons can be varied and they can be different. Some hackers are motivated by money. They steal data, lock systems, use ransomware, sell personal information, or commit financial fraud. For them, cybercrime is just like a business. Whereas some hackers are driven by political or social causes. These are often called as hacktivists. They may attack a website, leak information, disrupt various services to support a cause or protest against an organization. Then there are those hackers who are motivated by curiosity and challenge. They want to test their skills, explore systems, and see whether they can bypass the security or not. Some attacks also happen because of personal revenge. For example, a former employee, competitor, or an angry individual may try to damage a company's reputation. They can leak data or cause an embarrassment also. And finally, there are non-state hackers. They are highly skilled groups that target governments, defense systems, research institutions, and large businesses for intelligence, trade secrets, or national security reasons. So hackers may have different goals, but one thing is pretty much common. They look for weaknesses in technology, processes, and people. Now, let us try to understand the hacker mindset. To understand hackers, we must first understand how do they think. Hackers are not always doing something dramatic like in the movies. Most of the time, they are patient observers. They study a target, collect information, and look for the easiest way in. The first part of their mindset is persistence. If one method fails, they will try another. If one email is ignored, they are going to send a better one. And if one system is patched, they are going to look for another weak point. The second part comes the curiosity. Hackers ask questions like, how does this system work? What happens if I enter something unexpected? What information is publicly available, or which employee is likely to click a fake link? Third part is their risk calculations. Many cyber criminals do not attack blindly. They try to hide their identity, use anonymous networks, cover their tracks, and avoid being detected. And the fourth part is creativity. Hackers often think differently from normal users. A normal user sees a login page, but a hacker sees a possible entry point. Normal user also sees an email, but a hacker sees an opportunity to trick someone. And this is why cybersecurity is not about tools, it's also about thinking ahead. Now I hope so you would have got a brief idea regarding the mindset of the hackers. Let us move ahead by discussing common techniques that hackers use. And one of the most common techniques is phishing. In phishing, hackers create fake emails, messages, websites that look actually genuine. The goal here is to make victim share passwords, bank details, OTPs, or click on a malicious link. For example, an employee may receive an email that looks like it came from the IT team, asking them to reset their password. The page may look real, but it is actually controlled by the attacker. Another common method is called social engineering. And you can see I have opened the GitHub repo for the same. This is a social engineer toolkit. So you can find this repo all over here on the GitHub. Now, this is when the hackers manipulate people instead of directly attacking the systems. They may pretend to be a support executive, a manager, a delivery person, or even a trusted colleague. Their goal is to create trust and urgency. Next, malware is another major technique. Malware includes viruses, ransoms, trojans, spyware. So once installed, it can steal your data, monitor activity, damage your files, or even it can take your crucial details, for example, like your credit card details and all those things. Now, you can see there is a tool called as Kingfisher, which is present on the GitHub repo, Crimson Forge. So people use this to do phishing activities, and there are a lot of things which you can actually do with this amazing tool. Next, another one is, this is also from the Trust Desk. So this is also a social engineer toolkit, and you can use this thing to manipulate all those. So you can see hackers basically use these tools to do all those things. Now, there is another technique called as man-in-the-middle attacks, which are also very dangerous. In this type of attacks, hackers intercept communication between two people or systems. They may actually steal sensitive information or modify data while it is transmitted. Then there are DOS attack, or we can say that distributed denial of service attack. Here hackers flood a website or a server with huge traffic until it slows down or crashes. And this is often done using botnets, which are networks of infected devices. So hackers use different kinds of tools depending upon their goal. Some tools actually can scan the system and identify the weak points. Some are actually used to automate phishing campaigns. Some help create or deliver malware. Some tools also help hide identity and location. The dark web also plays a role in cybercrime. So if you go all over here and type dark web, so I can see a lot of unethical activities actually go, and you can read it from the Wikipedia also. So what exactly is a dark web, and how these things are actually working, and how you get an overview. So I think that most of you would have already have a great idea. Repeat. So guys, when I talk about dark web, most of the people also use it for activities or unethical activities. So one of the browser, that is Tor browser, you would have definitely heard about it. So here cyber criminals may also use it to communicate anonymously. Hackers may use VPNs, proxy servers, or anonymous browsing tools to hide their location. And this actually makes it harder for authorities or security teams to trace them. Now, as you all know that AI is also changing the cybercrime. Hackers can use AI to write more convincing phishing emails, automate attacks, create fake voices, generate fake images, and analyze targets faster. This means scams are becoming harder to identify. But it is very important to remember that many tools used in cybersecurity are not bad by themselves. The same type of scanning or testing tools can also be used by ethical hackers to protect companies. The difference is permission, purpose, and legality. Ethical hackers use the same mindset for good. Not every hacker is a criminal. Ethical hackers are also called as the white hat hackers, which use their skills legally to find out and fix security weaknesses. They think like attackers but work with permission. That's a major difference. Companies hire ethical hackers to test websites, networks, applications, cloud platforms, and they perform penetration testing, report vulnerabilities, and help organizations improve their defenses. There are also bug bounty program if I have to talk about it. So in these programs, companies reward ethical hackers for finding any bugs and responsibly reporting security flaws. So this creates safer environment for everyone. So the hacker mindset itself is not always bad. When used ethically, it becomes a very powerful tool for defense. So guys, there are a couple of tools I definitely want to show you. So this is John the Ripper. So you can find its official documentation all over here. So this actually is used for password cracking. Then there is Nmap, which is basically used for vulnerability testing. You can find vulnerabilities in the system. Very amazing tool, guys. Wireshark to actually study the network traffic, understand what is going in the IP packets and all those things. Very useful tool in studying the network. Then these are the GitHub repository, New Era Cracker, IOC. So this is also a very amazing tool. So you can see they have already written that you have to use it for the educational purpose. Don't do any illegal or unethical activities. This can make you a cyber criminal, which is not right. Then There is another tool which we called as Mimikatz. So you can just play with this tool, test out the Windows security, and it's also a very amazing tool. Definitely to study vulnerabilities in the Windows operating system. So guys, by now you would have got the brief idea what tools hackers use, how do they think, and this is just a brief video where I'm just telling you how the process happens and what is right and what is not correct. But it's part of cybersecurity, and there is a lot of technical concepts involved, which basically is used by a hacker or an ethical hacker to test the system, understand its security flaws, and then report it to the corresponding organizations. On vice versa, hackers can use it to exploit the system. So guys, that was all for today's video. I hope so. Now you would have got a brief idea how do hackers actually think. Thank you guys for watching this video.